Again, apologies to everyone on our last link. We just had some technical difficulties, but yeah, welcome to the Fortheboys podcast. So we created this podcast to share stories, experiences, and thoughts on life and the battle that comes with it. Teza.
By all means, we are not we're not professionals or trained in this field. We we just run off our life experiences and difficulties and the way we've been brought up. So yeah, man. If you're out there and you need to hear this is we put on every week. So yeah. Hopefully on tonight's show. Yeah, I'm Michael.
Ooh,
Charles.
Michael.
He's changed his name since we come to Zoom.
Very professional.
I feel like I need to put a suit on, like a little bit of a suit or something, you know, like a.
Ooh, what government name?
So on tonight's show, we got in the panel, we got Ivy. Hello, Ivy.
Hello.
We got Joshi.
What's up, Fems? Good to be back.
Oh, not the intro of this guy.
This guy, bro.
Put my guns up before you fall on toes, please.
And then we got Swanky the Second.
Killer fan. Just want to say thank you to our viewers who are still hanging in there, watching the stream. Thank you for your patience, but we finally got there.
And so we're going to introduce our guest, our special guest for tonight. He's world-renowned. He's done little big things, not only for New Zealand, but for South Auckland, for putting us on the map. He has the respect of everyone in our team, especially the admin, and we're honoured and privileged to have on the show with us Tyree Tautogia. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, bro? Or Tyrese. No. Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. We got there in the end, bro. It was sorry for everyone that was waiting. But yeah. Good to be here. Good to be here.
No drama, man. It's an honor to have you on. Like I said, we're gonna strip it back, and we're gonna start from the beginning if we can, and how you as a kid and how you became the music artist, and then how everything how the fame came with it as well.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy journey, bro. But it's a beautiful one, I was raised everywhere in South Auckland, bro. I was born in Middlemore. Then me and my mum moved to Otara, and so I spent a couple of years there. Then we moved to Wiri, in Papatoe, Mangere, back to Papatoe. So you could say I'm a product of South Auckland, like literally. Now residing in Manurua. Married to a beautiful wife, Tyree Tautogia, father to Mila, Olofa. Those are my two girls, 10 and 5, and then my little son, Tyree Jr. And it's been interesting, bro, because it's you only learn as you go. You learn things that you you didn't expect, you know, like when I reflect now, my childhood upbringing was, you know, I'm a product of that, you know, and I didn't think that some of the things that happened to me as a child would, you know, that I would carry that, some of those experiences, especially the trauma side, you know, and I didn't know that later on in life, like now, those times would affect me so much, you know. I was brought up in a real island family. You know, we weren't allowed to whistle at night, not allowed. We covered the mirrors. So it was real traditional. You know, I grew my hair, so I got my hifiulu at 16 years old. That's for those of you who don't know, that New Age culture tradition is for the eldest boy to grow his hair long and not cut it until he becomes a man. So I should have cut it now because 16 was way too young.
But if you had those guns at 16, then it was all good.
But yeah, so you know, there's a lot of things that that happened. You know, when I reflect now, it's a beautiful thing. You know, it's a beautiful thing because it shaped me into the man that I am today. You know, came from a very violent home. We were taught not to speak about our feelings. We were taught to sweep everything under the rug, get over it. So these things that we heard about, like depression, anxiety, unworthiness, failure, that was all made up words to us, you know, because we were taught to, if you're feeling that type of way, just get over it. Build a bridge, sweep it under the rug, whatever you need to do, just get over it. So it wasn't until now that I realized, man, it's such an unhealthy way to live. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of Pacific Islanders, you know, particularly young males who have the same upbringing, you know, and, you know, in saying that, there was a lot of beautiful things, you know, that really shaped me. And, you know, like, you know, in the island culture where we're taught to give, you know, give into your last dollar. And I think that's a trait that not many people have, you know, but it's so heavily part of the island culture. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, I started doing music at a young age. I think music was my outlet. I was making songs at such a young age. I think I was like 8 when I started making music, but I didn't know I was making music. I was just making nursery rhymes with the friends at school. They were dumb ones, but it was creativity, you know, and I didn't know that. But started to do talent quests at intermediate. Got a standing ovation.
Nice.
My first standing ovation. It was cool, man. It was, you know, I was in intermediate on stage with my long hair. Oh man! And I remember my first song being I sung "Don't Leave Me" by Blackstreet.
Oh,
you know how.
Can we get a demo?
Oh. Hey man, my voice dropped, bro. But
did you just sing it to the front row or to like the whole?
Nah, just to the teachers. Nah. But then, you know, I started getting a bit more serious in high school. You know, I remember carrying around this little notepad that I would write all my songs in, you know, and I was working at the warehouse at the time. And I wrote my first proper song at the warehouse. I was working in the shoe department, you know, and I had this little book folded up in my back pocket, and I'll pull it out when my supervisor wasn't watching, start writing. And the song was called High and Low. And it was, you know, that was the first time I really wrote about real experience, you know, and I was in love with this girl at the time. And it was my first real song that I wrote, and I recorded it, and I was so proud. From there, that birthed something in me, because I went on to win talent quest, and I really went to school just to eat my lunch and do music and play rugby as well. Made Auckland divisional Bs. Should have stuck to that instead of music, but it's all good. And then so as time progressed, I just started getting really good at my craft. Won a couple of competitions. I believe it was the My FM Coke Rhythm Nation for my song Friday Night. And at the time, all the islanders used to call me Tyrese, and I hated it. Hated it with a passion because my boys would go, "Oh, Tyrese." And so I didn't want to be called that anymore. So I changed my name to E. Wrights. That was Tyree backwards. And so I won my first competition, and I remember that really exploded my career, because then I was picked up by Move the Crowd, or Woodcut at the time. And then when I got picked up, Juice was working on his album overseas, and they made MTC with Kirk Harding, who's responsible for putting Savage with Akon. All those Dawn Raid big collaborations, most of them came from Kirk Harding, so he created this movement, MTC, and I was the first signing.
How old were you then? Sorry.
Nah, sweet, bro. I was, I think I was 21. No, 20. I was 20 years old. And I remember they flew me over to New York. We stayed in Taffy Place in Brooklyn to record my album, And I worked with a producer, a renowned producer called Coach Cheese. And that was huge for me, man. Like, prior to going there, we went to Toronto, Canada.
What was that feeling like? Because you've now left Auckland or South Auckland, and
South Auckland, yeah, bro.
Yeah, and then you've made, like, it's the big stage. You're in New York. You're in the heart of where everyone wants to.
It's the mecca
as a rapper, as a rapper,
absolutely.
That's where you wanna. That's where your pinnacle is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like when I went there, hip hop wasn't a thing. Hip hop was a culture. Like how me and you are islanders. Like hip hop was their identity, their culture. And I could tell this by the way that people held themselves. Like especially the people I was hanging out with. And then when I went to Manhattan, there was like 100-meter posters of Jay-Z, Mobb Deep on the buildings, bro. Like that. It was a real eye opener for me, because it was, this is something that really I was chasing, and then being over there, I was, in the midst of it all. And for a young 21-year-old, I had my 21st over there, and it was just amazing, the experience, emotions through the roof. Can't believe I'm here. But amongst all that, bro, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man, I was smoking meth, bro. I'm sorry to just dampen this whole story, but
For real?
Hey,
So-
that's the
Yeah,
realness,
bro.
Sauce. That's the realness.
So, what
Yeah,
got you
so-
into it? Like, what started it? Was it the pressure, or
At first, brother, it was like, I just had finished school, and then we heard about it, and I was always a daredevil, I was always that Mr. 100 guy, go handy at everything. So when I heard about this new drug, they called it P at the time, I was like really interested, I really wanted to try it. And I believe it was 2004, the year after I finished school, I tried it. And it was expensive. I remember like spending $100 for just this little amount. And I started dabbling in it, more often. And at the time, it really helped me finish music fast. You know what I mean? It was like I could bang out like 6 songs in one night. But the quality of the music, garbage.
Yeah.
That stuff really makes you delusional, bro. It makes you think that you're something that you're not. You know what I mean? And so that's where that birthed. So at the same time, bro, you can only imagine my career starts taking off, starts like, bro, going to astronomical heights that some people will never get a chance to do, like go over to New York and stay over there for a couple of months, go get a hotel and an apartment in Manhattan, stay there for a month. That started to grow at the same time. You know, this addiction over here, and then this career over here. But this career over here is already filled with that stuff. You know, it's already filled with alcohol. It's filled with cocaine. It's heavy. It's prevalent in that scene. So that was my dirty little secret. You know, because like meth is the drug that people don't like to talk about. Like, you know, when you're talking about drugs at a party, you're like, oh, bro, do you want some coke? It's okay to say yeah. Or do you want to E? It's okay to say yeah. Or MDMA. As soon as you say meth, it's like, oh, this guy. You know. It's the rat of the drug industry, pretty much. Yeah. So, and you know, I didn't even tell my boys. Like, I would go missing. I would go missing for weeks, and then turn up, and then like they'll be like, "Bro, where you been?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh man, because I was doing that as well. You know, I was selling it. I was not going to sleep. I remember being up for 6 days. That's the longest I've stayed up. And bro, you just reek of chemicals, you know. And I'm trying to live this life, and then at the same time try and maintain my career that's just coming up, you know. And I got people invested in me that I don't want to let down. So there's just so much pressure, you know, and not even my family knew. So I'm trying to hold it all together. But you know, it doesn't matter who you are, bro. It doesn't matter how strong your mind is, bro. You're gonna crumble at some point. And that's what happened to me, bro. And that's what happened to me. Like you know, there was a lot, bro. There was a lot. There was like, it was competition within the group, you know. When I bring the boys along, it was always competition. That was the culture of Smash Proof, you know, of all of us. So we always wanted to be better than one another. And so when you're so invested emotionally into your craft, into your group, into the whole scene, and plus you're battling with addiction that nobody knows about, bruh, you know, like it's a cocktail of just astronomical highs and bottom of the dumps lows, like constantly.
At,
So,
at your like your peak, you know, taking meth as well as did you have a family then as well? No. How was that when you did come back home and you know, try to settle down after coming off that high? How was that? Like, did you?
Oh, bro, it's a lot of eating. I'll tell you that now. It's a lot of eating, a lot of mood swings. Just not really a good person to be around, bro. Like, period. You know what I mean? No one is. I don't care what you're coming down from. Like, you know, even hungover. No one wants to hang out with a hungover or coming down. Like, you're just not, you know, there's no energy. Like, you're
someone has to sleep for 3 days.
Are those food commercials?
Hey, in all honesty, I've done so many shows of this dude, and not once, like you said, nobody knows, bro. Nobody knows. You couldn't tell, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like fucking, it's crazy, bro. It's like we've done shows, and you know he looks drunk, but bro, did you know he was this and all of this other shit that he's saying now?
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part about it too. It's wicked, bro.
Yeah. But so I became one of those guys that was like amazing at wearing masks. You know what I mean? And so when you wear masks for so long, you start believing those masks are actually real. You know what I mean? That you don't have a problem. Yeah. You don't need help. Like, bro, it's such an ugly place to be in. And that was most of my career, bro. And don't get me wrong, there was a time where I beat it. Me and my girlfriend moved over to Australia at the time. I believe it was 2006. Went over to Australia. Bro, that was the year that I won the Best Male Artist Australasian Award. So it was amazing. It was a good opportunity for me to go over there and sit up there. And I beat it. Those 2 years that I was there really, see, this is the thing, bro. Like with anyone battling addiction, clean time, no matter how you get it, no matter if you go to jail, if you go to rehab, if you go on a holiday, a long holiday, remote island, I don't know, I don't care. Clean time is good, you know, because it brings clarity back into your thoughts. It brings so much fulfillment and wholeness back to you, you know, the center. And so I got clean off that stuff for 2 years. Came back, and that's when Smash Proof was blowing up. I believe we were 3 weeks, third week number one when I moved back. It went on to be the longest number one in New Zealand history.
Yeah, with that song, Brother, eh?
Yeah. So Brother went on to break records, and you know, we're just 3 dudes from South Auckland with a dream, you know, and it just goes to show that anything's possible. I mean, look at the bro from Rewa, you know, what's his name? Josh or
yeah, Josh 685.
Yeah,
yeah,
Josh
685.
Tatofi.
Same
Yeah,
thing, bro. Same thing. Just a young poly brother from the hood making moves, you know. And so kudos to him, bro. That's awesome.
Did you watch the awards night? Sorry to cut. And how they with that Josh 685.
What kind of
Man, they
banging
didn't do him.
now?
They didn't do him justice, eh, with his awards, and they had him come out, and they had some girl or some group singing the song, and it was, man, they threw him under the bus, bro, with his song. They had this group that couldn't even sing, man. And oh, man, it was cringy as. I felt bad for this guy, you know, his biggest.
I thought that he arranged that like performance.
Oh man, I wouldn't have a clue. Bro, it looked bad, eh?
Oh really? Nah,
yeah.
I didn't get to see it, man. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah,
I think
real
I think I was tying my shoes.
Hey, Tyree, going back to when you were in New York, when did you get the boys over to sign with you? Smash Proof.
Yeah, so that happened. It's a crazy journey, bro, because like off all the grants, like, you know, New Zealand On Air was giving away like, you know, like album grants, and I believe at the time it was 50 grand. You know, part of my budget that MTC carved out was to get Sid over there as well, and another part of the budget was to take both of them to Canada. So we flew over there, even though it was only me and Detail on the song with Cardinal Official. Sid came too.
Oh,
you know, so it was a beautiful thing, man. Like, you know, you take your best friends over. This is for you. This is for your craft. This is like not for your 9 to 5. Like, you're not doing mahi. Like, this is your passion. You know, they say when you start, when your mahi is your passion, you're not working a day.
You're not working a day in your life.
Definitely, bro.
So we were going over there for our passion, man. Like, you know, and it was amazing. But I you know, like going back to that Friday night song, I was given the opportunity to sign with Move the Crowd, but I told them, if you take me, then you take my group as well.
oof.
Man, that's loyal, bro. That's your.
Yeah, bro.
That's deep, man.
Yeah, bro. It's a, you know, like that's what you call when the boys can feed off your grind, bro. That's brotherhood, bro. Like real brotherhood.
Ooh.
So I hope they're listening right now, man. You know, no.
Sorry to disappoint us. There's only 2 watching.
Oh, damn. See, we're too late, man. We're too late.
Yeah, go ahead, Ivy.
Sorry, just when you went back and you moved back to Australia, and you said that you got clean and everything, like what was the push for you to get clean?
To be honest with you, it was my wife, you know, my girlfriend at the time. She's now my wife, and she was just such a good person. You know, like you know, she just loved me, and she wanted the best for me, and she just invested all her time and energy into me, and I just couldn't let her down. You know what I mean? And I just really wanted to be the best me for her. You know, I didn't want to be that guy that just weighed us down. Even though, like, dating a musician is weighing you down. Nah.
Say no more.
Nah, just joking. But yeah, so she really helped me. You know, she really helped me, and I was clean. I was clean for like 8 years off that stuff.
Nice.
Because that stuff takes your soul, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how you lose everything. You know, I'm pretty sure everyone's been affected one way or another. You know, like whether it's first, second hand, third hand, everyone's experienced.
I think a good example there will be Scribbles,
Yeah.
where he is now and where he's been and all that. All comes down to that one drug, right? That one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a real bad one, eh?
yeah.
Yeah, real bad one.
It is, man. It takes your soul, bro. It takes your morals. It's crazy.
And you were clean for that time or that period in Australia.
Yeah.
And what was the point you said, oh yeah, I can come back to New Zealand? And was it because of the group you made that decision to move back?
Yeah, so we moved back just to, you know, enjoy the success, I guess. And it was good, bro. You know, I didn't touch that stuff. I remember being in the room one time on tour. This is at the height of our career, and I was in a room with these gangsters, bro. And the pipe was going around, and I was like, nah, man, hell no, that's for losers, you know. And that's what I thought, bro. Like I actually thought, nah, that stuff is for losers, because I, you know, in my mind, I kicked it completely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy, bro, because I didn't dabble in it up until back into it last year. Oh no, sorry, end of 2018.
Gee.
Yeah, but it was a build-up of so many things leading up to that point, and yeah, you know, the one thing about me is I've hit rock bottom so many times. You know, I'm a habitual rock bottom hitter. You know, I believe I got good at it. You know, I can hit rock bottom then bounce back. That was one of the reasons why I started bodybuilding, because that was a result of me hitting rock bottom. You know, and I remember that time I looked in the mirror and my face was drooping in the mirror. So I think I was coming down astronomically. So and then that sort of woke me up. You know, then I hit the gym like religiously after that. But you know, when you don't take care of the problem and you just mask it with something else, which was the gym, that problem never goes away. You know, and it's
sorry, bro, sorry, cut you off. There's also like, say that song Brother, how you said it stayed #1 for 11 weeks on New Zealand charts, and then you go on to make another album, another song. Like, do you think just pressures from the success from the first track trigger, or?
Oh, absolutely, man. Like, there was so much pressure. We flopped, you know, for the second album. Our culture that we had created from the first album was just partying. Like, it was like we didn't take care of the mahi, man. You know, like, and I'll be the first to admit it. You know, like, it was all about getting wasted every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If we're
enjoying
not touring,
that shine, eh? You know,
yeah,
you get there, like, no, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna drink and take all this other stuff to make me feel good then and there.
Yeah, we just didn't take care of the mahi, man. And you know, like, I think the second album, Pain Fade was our biggest. Pain Fade and Survivor, which are two brilliant songs, beautiful songs.
I like The Ordinary Life too.
Yeah, that was from the first album. But those two songs, like, really, they were from the heart, you know. But the rest of the songs were like, oh man, I don't know, I don't even know what we were up to, bro.
Make it the album.
Yeah. Just having fun. Yeah.
Well, I think it just goes to show how much a normal person wouldn't know about the music industry, how hard it is to get there, and then to stay there. Eh? It's like,
yeah,
you guys had
Maintain.
3 brains in that thing. 3 brains.
Yeah.
3 different people.
Three
and
Eagles
you're
too.
Your
Yeah,
mind is
true,
the
you're
main
right,
one
bro.
because you write that shit, bro.
Mm.
And still, it's just the smallest thing could bring you guys right down
Yeah.
and to strip it away from you guys.
Yeah, and I
Crazy.
believe a big part of that was unity. That, you know, there was the unity wasn't at its fullest. There was, like the brother said, there was egos, you know, and you know, pride comes before the fall, man. Yeah, there was just you know, it's hard when you're in competition with someone. You're not really operating at the fullness of your guys, you know, connection and mahi, you know, like creativity, all that goodness. And yeah, it showed, bro. It showed. If we're onto it, but like you gotta understand that hip hop is not like reggae. You know what I mean? So you got your Sons of Zions, you got your 660s who have maintained like for 10 plus years now and doing really well, you know, because it's reggae, bro. Reggae is the music of New Zealand, let's be honest. So
Yeah,
when
for
you
sure. Yeah.
when you're in hip hop, that's already a niche market, you know what I mean? In New Zealand, it's not enough to support careers for 10 plus years. You know, like we were an anomaly, you know, we were like Scribe or Savage. Yeah, you really have to be consistent with the hits, and if you're not, then bye.
So saying that, which artist will you say you sort of emulate your style of writing or songwriting?
Oh, bro, I can't answer that question, man. I just I believe that Smash Proof sounded like no other. Even my style, like, you know what I mean? I believe that I can't say that I'm like this guy because there's no one. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything. I think I'm my own artist, sort of thing.
Did you have like a role model that you kind of wanted to follow, like footsteps of someone else, and maybe I wanted to be myself, but also I wanted to be like this guy. He's been here, done that.
Yeah, man. LL Cool J. Did I do a good job? Nah.
I thought you were gonna say 50 Cent, but
you need to bring the lip balm. You need to bring the lip balm if you're LL Cool J.
You can't go hell.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to be like 50. Yeah. For me, bro, it was Shefu growing up. He was my biggest idol.
Who's the man?
Yeah, man. I remember going to one of his shows at Otara Recreation Center, and that's the first time he debuted Misty Frequency.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Bro, and it was amazing. Like, I was just, man, I want to be like this guy. And plus, he was New Wayne, you know, he was New Wayne, so.
Oh, yes, fact.
Closer to home, eh?
Yeah. Not many of us, also, not many of us.
Hard out.
Just got a question from the.
Just
go ahead, Muffy.
I know you go. Yeah. No, I was just gonna ask. In the line of work, when you say rap, like rap music, getting to where you have been in the past, where you are now, would you say it's beneficial to go to America and live there and follow that or chase that dream, or would you say, like, if you were to make a career out of it, or would you say grind where you are and try and get there, and then grind some more type of thing?
From my, like, am I talking from my perspective now?
Yeah, because you've already been there, seen how it is.
I wouldn't have gone to America, bro.
I followed you. I followed you before Smash Proof.
Yeah.
Bro, my sister used to buy her albums, so I've heard your shit before. What people know these days, like I know your music, yeah. Like I said, like, I know you really from then. Yeah, like I know you a lot more than a lot of other people do. So yeah, it's just for me, it's your music has been good. It's consistent. If you haven't heard anything from before Smash Proof, then you wouldn't really know. But if you, yeah, you can tell you've been to. I could tell you've been somewhere else other than New Zealand, in regards to your music and stuff. So for me, I could tell, but I don't know about anybody else. But yeah, would you say it is beneficial to go overseas?
Oh, it definitely is, bro. It definitely is. But the way that it is now, like I wouldn't know. Like if I knew then what I know now, nah, bro, I wouldn't have gone because like America, they don't really take to if you're not from there.
Yeah.
It might take them a while, especially if you got hits, but then you end up being what's that, Ziggy or Izzy Iggy?
Is he exactly? Oh,
Iggy.
Yeah.
Iggy.
Iggy.
Is he Alexander? Man. Yeah, so like she blew up. She was good for a couple of songs, and then they started catching on. Actually, she's not from here. Like she has a fake accent. Like she doesn't sound like the way that she talks.
And that's one thing. Yeah, if you're in that the environment and you're fake, how long can you hold that mask, like you say, in front of everyone?
Before they start catching on.
Before that mask starts to turn on you, and then mate, all over.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Doesn't matter who you are, man. No matter how great you are, man. I know this great man, and I won't say his name. He's one of the brothers that I really look up to, and he's very knowledgeable. He's one of the strong-minded guys, and he struggled with myth. You know what I mean? Like I remember talking to him one day, and he was like, "No, I've got it all sus, bro. I take it at this time and this time. It helps me with my writing, my training, da 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 da." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sweet." And then a couple of months later, bro.
Wow.
Doesn't matter who you are, man. Shit will take your soul.
You said that like you just find yourself hitting rock bottom all the time, and it's not until you address the problem. Have you reflected on what the problem was, and was it like tied to your trauma from your childhood and that?
Yeah, absolutely. There was an incident that happened, well, many, but this particular time that I remember that birthed a real big failure in me, came over me. Like I used to wear it like a blanket, and I took that into my adolescence, and really didn't try. Like, when I reflect and look at my whole career, I think that was a fluke, bro. Like for what I was carrying internally, and the amount of energy I would put out, I was blessed. I can just say I'm blessed because, man, I didn't used to try, man. I actually thought that my best wasn't good enough, so I didn't try. If you see me in public spots, public places, even being on stage in the beginning of my career was so hard, because there was moments there where I was thinking, man, this is not the career for me. Like I would be anxious, like to the maximum, and so it's just like that stuff that I held, like I hated it, like I hated dealing with it, like so I would mask that emotion that would always come over me. Oh, you're not good enough, bro. You shouldn't even try. You're a failure. You couldn't protect her. Yeah. Having kids now, it's like, man, you never wanna put them in that position. You never want them to see such ugliness.
Yeah.
And like every time you kind of let's say you wanted to take the drug or meth, let's say, was it easy for you? Was it there easy for you to grab? Was it within reach? Like you just look over, it's there. I can grab it.
Yeah.
Was it that easy for you?
Yeah, bro.
Because because you're surrounded by it. It's there. Oh, why not just take it?
Yeah, and that's why I got really addicted at the end of 2018 because one of the homies just gave me this massive amount, like the amount that like I'll be doing 10 years if I got caught with, that type. Yeah, and bless his heart, bro, because he didn't know my past. He just knew me as like, we were working out together. We were like, he was like, bro,
the brothers, trying to help. That's his way of helping.
Yeah. So he was a gangster, bro, and had he known, bro, he wouldn't have offered it to me, I don't think. So I went. There was a moment there where it was like, drive this way to go get a pipe, knowing damn well where I know this road's gonna lead because of the past and all those years when I just finished school, or turn right to go home. And bro, I was driving, put my indicator on, and then I was just about to turn, but I went.
Oh,
the beginning of the end, bro. The beginning of the end.
Oh shit!
And that's the start, eh? And that's the start. And you spoke about rehab and how did that go for you? And how, like, because I think for me personally, I always see everything like that on TV, and I don't know anyone personally that's actually spoken about it because they're too ashamed to actually say I take meth or I take drugs. You have just come out boldly and said, look, I've done this is my past, and then you've also said I went into rehab. And how was rehab, bro? And what was the I guess the push to go rehab? Because having drugs is so easy, and the life that's with it, what I'm just gonna stay off it because I'm too far gone in the myth.
Yeah, I guess the first thing is admitting that you have a problem. That's the main hurdle. That's the first hurdle to get over, because there's a lot of people out there that don't believe they got a problem. They're so far lost down the dark hole that they think they're good. You know what I mean? And that's the type of people I used to hang out with. But for me, what made me get into rehab was I was depending on substance for my happiness, bro, for my joy, and I've just had a baby boy. He's what, a couple of months old. He's just a little baby. I've got two beautiful girls, a beautiful wife. And if I can't find my joy, my peace, and my happiness with them, then bro, I got a problem, man.
True.
I just really wanted to get high, and every time I did, I was happy. Obviously, battling with suicide as well. That was a real crazy experience. But I just owe everything to God, man. Like, he took me out, man. He took me out of that big time. So that's why the whole music has changed. My walk has changed. I just really want to share about his goodness. And, don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it, man. But I'm definitely 10 times better a man than I was, bro. Like a year ago.
Nice.
10 years ago. Thank you.
Any questions from the chat, Swanky?
Yeah. Got a question here from Sid White. What would you say to the young generation in music where drugs and money is glorified?
Yeah, man. That's a good question, bro. One of the reasons why I didn't want to, I made a conscious decision to not make any more music like that, not make any more glorifying, money glorifying, drug glorifying. And what I say to that is to really find your identity. find your identity, and your identity is not in music. Your identity is that God-given purpose that He has for your life. You know what I mean? So once you find your identity, and I'm not talking about music, I'm not talking about things, I'm not talking about like your trade or your I'm not even talking about your family, you know, because you know, when I think about my purpose, it's a given. You know, that's I'm not talking about my son, my daughters, my wife, my family. I'm talking about that thing that when you wake up in the morning, bro, and it's in you. You know what I mean? That passion. That's the thing that you got to find. You know, like that's the thing that defines you, that keeps you driven. And for me, mine is I just want to help people. You know, I really want to help people that went the same road as me, you know, and let them know that there's more to life than substance. There's more to life than this darkness. And it doesn't matter where you're born, where you're from, who you are, the decisions that you made, all that stuff. It's a matter. All that matters is where you're going, and that's what drives me. That's what really gives me passion for life. You know what I mean? That's my identity. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, well, where's the direction of music gonna go from here on?
Oh man, I'm a Christian artist now, brother.
Yeah, brother. So how you say you're Christian, your walk now has changed. So we're fast forwarding from your old career. Who's the Tyree now? What are we looking forward to? And yeah, your new passion and your walk.
Yeah. So for me, it's just like everything that I can influence through my walk, through my actions, through my music, through any other talents that I do have. I just wanna give Him glory, man. I just wanna share His goodness, you know, and because honestly, bro, He really took me out of suicide, man. I was gonna end my life, man. I was this close. I wrote the note. I was at the table in my house, you know. I finished writing the letter, and my wife's best friend she had discernment, you know what I mean? She just came in to check up on me, and bro, that was God, man. You know, I remember being on that table and I was crying, man, and I was like, God, man, if you can take me out of this, man, you know, I promise I'll give you my life. Literally, man, literally at the end of that letter, I saw her car coming and I was like, wow, thank you, God.
Damn.
You know, like
man.
That's heavy.
Straight up, man, and that's why I really want people to have that same hope and that same restoration, you know, that I've got now and that I've had, just to take them out of that, no matter how bad your situation is, knee deep, waist deep, over your head, you know, it doesn't matter, man. It's like, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that our God can't do, you know, our Father can't do for you, you know. All praise to Jesus, brother. Man.
Yo.
So your music obviously is with Christianity. Have you got more stuff planned for that road for music?
Yeah, bro. So I've you know, the way that I'm gonna write the music now, I'm gonna make it sound secular. For like the first two songs, it's hardcore Christian, and then the next maybe I don't know how many, whatever. I'm just gonna let the Holy Spirit prompt me, but I'm just gonna make it sound secular. But then when you really listen to the lyrics, you understand. You'll be like, oh wow, I've just planted seeds in that man. You know, he's been singing my secular song, and all the time he's singing like he's uplifting himself or uplifting others. You know, like, but in a way that it sounds secular, but it's really not. Sounds secular, but it's sicky.
Sicky ass.
Seki, yeah. Teach yourself. Oh man.
What
So
a
listening
fucking
to that
journey, bro.
song Drive, Ty.
Oh, nice, bro.
Is that all you vocally singing in that track? Like, is that
Yeah, man. Yeah.
dropping the mic for the old falsettos?
Oh, let's go.
No bad, man. No bad, man.
You want a demo, bro? No.
Just letting you know, we do backup as well if you want us on the track.
That's us, man.
If we need anyone to be singing in the back in the video, so it's available right now. He looks good on the road.
I'll ring you up.
I'll just come home, hold the mic. Just got another question here from the chat, if you don't mind. Growing up, which old school rapper was your idol and why?
You know, like a lot of people here, man. For me, it was Tupac, bro. And why? Because you know, obviously all my friends were into him, but when I listened to his lyrics, bro, there was a lot of anger. There was a lot of anger in his lyrics and his tone, his delivery, and you know, that spoke to me as a kid because you know, obviously I was filled with that same sort of rage. Yeah, so it was cool. It was cool to have an artist to resonate with, and obviously, yeah.
What's your thoughts on the drill scene and PI's, you know, currently making waves?
I think it's apart from the content, I think it's amazing. You know, I think what they're doing over there is amazing. Take my hat off to them. You know, those Poly Boys really carved a lane out. Like it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen, and it was just awesome that the Poly Boys did it. You know. Because Australia is like an untouched market, man. You know, apart from all the white rappers over there, no one was really doing that hard hip hop, you know. And when I saw the Poly Boys come up, man, I was so proud, eh? Mm-hmm. And obviously Australia being what 10 times, 20 times bigger than New Zealand, it's just full of full of those kind of dudes, you know. It's like everyone's got a story over there, you know. You can't discredit anyone's story, because anyone that comes out and has the balls to make a song and create an artist character or just to be an artist, it takes balls, you know, and it takes a lot of just confidence to come out and tell your story, and I can't discredit anyone.
That's cool. What about, we've got another question from someone. They said, what's your thoughts on the authenticity of not using American vocals or Americanized vocals?
Accent or are they talking about accent?
Style, maybe? Just the whole.
I think, you know, if we're talking about style, yeah, man, like everything comes from America, man.
Yeah, it's hard, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you make it your own, you know, obviously, but in terms of accent, which is a huge topic over here in New Zealand, there's people that say, nah, you're not real if you're not rapping like a Kiwi. Sonically, for me, yeah, I can listen to a few Kiwi artists that rap with a Kiwi accent, a few. It doesn't really sit well with me, but I still respect it. Don't get me wrong. But if we play it back, if we look at the biggest hip hop songs in New Zealand history, yeah, it's all with the American accent, guys.
Yeah, for real. Hey, similar thing to the drill and Oz. They gotta sound UK-ish, like
yeah.
They gotta have that UK mumble.
Yeah. So what were the biggest songs in New Zealand? It was rap, Savage Swing. It was Scribe, Not Many If Any, or Stand Up. It was Smash Proof, Brother. It was Kings, Don't Worry About It. You know what I mean? Those are the biggest hip hop songs. all in American accent.
Yeah.
So,
Preach.
you know, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but I guess it comes down to preference. But I think that people who are too Americanized, it makes me cringe. You know, because there's a level way. There's a level.
Yo,
Hard.
Especially the ones that talk normally in American accent.
Wait, have you? It's really bad. You know how you went to America and so you got a taste of the hip hop scene and what it's really about in this their identity. Did you ever get a chance to like really see the underground New Zealand hip hop scene and that identity?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see it, and I still see it. I'm part of
heaps of it.
Yeah, there's heaps, man, and there's a lot of talent out there, man. Like, and there's a lot of rappers in New Zealand that rap with a Kiwi accent that sound dope.
But Bullet.
Just... you know what it is.
Yo, you already know. It's your boy Boom Bullet.
Nah, man, there's a culture, there's an underground New Zealand culture that's awesome, but I just think there's not much unity, man. A lot of it's just real cliquey, you know. New Zealand, the New Zealand scene is already small as it is, and then when you become cliquey in a small scene, it's like no one elevates. Only the same ones that you see getting higher up there elevating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just happened to bump into it for a uni project one time. We were doing dance and met a couple of boys who were 13 and 14 at the time, and they were a b-boy and a pop locker, and you know they looked at us coming in to ask questions about it, like, what are you doing here? What do you want? What are you trying to, you know, take from us, basically? But
wow.
Then they kind of warmed up to us because we were a little bit persistent in that, and I was friends with some of their boys and that. But then they pretty much taught me everything about the hip hop culture and how much respect goes with it, and how it's like it's their way of life, it's their identity, and how important it is. So yeah, I get the whole cliquey thing. It's really hard to get into or to even find out about. But I think lately, I think they've been sharing a little bit more, and they've gone.
Well, if you want, you should just go and join bars now.
Yeah, yeah, true. They're all there now.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent on bars now, from New Zealand, just randoms. It's crazy. I've come across a few that are phenomenal rappers, you know. But I don't comment. No.
Hey Ty, I know you're a songwriter for a lot of people. What are some songs that we would know that did not know that you were part of? Like, you know?
Oh yeah. You know, Rihanna's no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Chris Brown's.
Did you hear that, Kerry? Did you hear that, Kerry?
So there's a few, bro. Off the top of my head, I can't name them all, but the ones that pop out is you know the Sid song with Stan Walker, Stuck in a Box.
Yeah.
So I read that one. Deech's Tears. There's a heaps of album cuts, and a lot of songs for other artists that are still getting released, bro. And I think they're going to be big songs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, the gift, man. That's all your hard work. Do you still kind of I doubt it. Do you still kind of write lyrics for artists now or groups?
Yeah, bro.
Still...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But show me the money, though.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Have to.
Even,
bro.
Is that even though you're Christian, you've changed into the Christian side of everything now?
Oh, show
Would
me
you still write
donations.
songs
He meant show me
the
donations.
hardcore rappers and
Yeah,
stuff?
show me tithes. Nah, you know what, man? It's yeah, I still gotta align myself in you know, just integrity wise, bro. I can't you know, because I have been in that situation where, you know, I've got offered money to write for this person, but they wanted this type of song.
Mm.
And I couldn't do it, you know what I mean? Even though I needed the money,
Yeah.
Yo,
I just couldn't really compromise, bro. Because you know what comes with compromise, man? Another compromise, and before
Yeah.
you know it, you're just back to square one.
yeah,
Mm.
that's a big thing, though. That's big. It's like it's your passion. That's what you're good at. Right.
Yeah,
If we pull back on something like that, man, that's massive, bro.
yeah. Thank you, bro. It was a hard one. I prayed on it, man, and yeah. I don't know why I prayed on it because I already knew the answer.
Please just say yes for now.
Yeah. Give me a sign, please.
20 minutes. That's all I need.
Yeah,
I
but-
tell you, are we gonna see the boys get together for another album, Smash Proof?
We got an EP dropping. I think it's
Is that exclusive?
next
Is that
year.
exclusives?
Oh, all day, brother. Yeah, it's dropping next year, brother. And it's we try to do an album, but we got as far as 7 songs. 7 songs are amazing. And it's definitely quality, bro. It's crazy because we're all different walks of life and
Yeah, that's it. It's grown from grown men from back then.
Yeah, bro. And you know, this was the first time that I really had fun, bro, writing.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, yo.
Nice.
It was the first time that there was no egos. It was love, bro. You know, it was just all love and
Got
it
the
was just
passion
such
back,
a good
very
time.
nice.
It was just a good time, you know. Sid would fly up from Napier, and I really enjoyed hanging out with him, you know, like, and in our studio sessions, me and that dude would just be guns, bro, just going handy, dropping a song, the next one, drop a song, and you know, I miss that, man. You know, that's how it should have been.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's how it should have been.
But,
That's beautiful.
crazy.
well, you guys got it now, so it's very nice.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
yeah, but we're going into our 50s now, so it's a little bit too late.
You're gonna be the real Cool J if you're gonna be doing that at 50.
Yeah. When I get my board here, just get rid of all the grease. Let's go.
Any more questions, team or chat?
No, so I think that's
No. So no, appreciate you, brother, for jumping on and sharing your journey. I know we're going to take away a lot, especially with your experiences. As you know, the first to actually come out and say they've done this type of substance, and you know you've taken the road of rehabilitation, and they'll come out the other end and then share that journey. So and I appreciate your share, Us.
Nah, sweet as, bro. I didn't even think I answered your question, bro, about rehab. You know, just quickly, rehab is the best thing, bro. It's the best thing that you could do, especially if you have a problem with addiction, any type of addiction. Rehab is the place to go. You know, the only regret that I have, I didn't do it 15 years ago. You know, because like I said, it gives you so much more than you would think. And you know, as Moldy and PIs, it's really we're fuck-a-ma about that stuff. You know, we don't want to go there because it's shame. You know, what if people find out? You know, and that's what I that was the biggest battle for me was, man, what is everyone gonna say when they find out that I'm in rehab? What a loser! Because the only thing that I saw about rehab was on movies as well. you know. And you know, when you go to rehab, you end up going to those NA meetings, and in NA meetings, you know, it's when you sit in a circle and you go, "Hey, my name is Ty. I'm an addict. I'm 30 days clean," or something like that. You know, whatever your days may be. And that was, for me, that was a loser, you know, because the way that the movies had painted this perception of people in rehab or in those meetings were like real loserish. So I was real fuckama about it. You know, I didn't want to go because, you know, it's a shame. What is everyone going to think? And it ended up being the best thing that I could have done, man. I would do it again. I'll happily do it again. And it just makes you better. You know, they say in rehab is the place of self-discovery, and then recovery starts outside of rehab.
Yes.
Nice, Uso.
Nice, brother.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you're struggling with it, man, any type of addiction, man, just go to rehab, man. There's no shame in it, man. Beautiful people go there.
Exactly, bro. Usually we end it off with a little something like an advice or some tips for everyone out there that's tuned in. So, Swanky, you got any advice for our millions of followers?
No advice, Us. Just want to run it back and say thank you to Ty for making the time to join our little podcast. I know it's a bit later than we said, but appreciate you also for taking the time out of your day and jumping on our little podcast and sharing your story, because it's pretty much the founding idea of our podcast is just sharing our stories, sharing our truths. Someone out there can relate and see that we made it through, then that's a big win. So thank you, so appreciate you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Muffy.
Yeah, man. Thanks again, Ty, for accepting the call when you got the call up. But I can always count on you, Us. I know I can always count on you to pull through. So thank you for that.
Don't worry, brother.
For me, for anybody who's listening, I'll be there. But yeah, any advice for me, for anybody listening, if you heard tonight, Ty said he was praying and hoping for that one thing, or for God to step in and stop him from doing what he's going to do. And that's all about like having that faith and believing and just holding on that one extra step. So if you're out there and you feel like there's nothing left, man, there's always that one thing. You just got to keep holding on and believing in that it'll get better. So yeah, from me to you, keep holding on.
Holding on to what?
To Swanky's body.
Holding on to.
Somebody will come, man.
Hope, boost hope.
Amen.
Somebody will come.
Sure, brother. Ivy.
Well, thank you, boys, for having me again. And Tyree, thank you for like sharing so much of your journey, because I think my passion is working with youth, troubled youth who are in the youth justice system, and a lot of their story your story would resonate with them, and a lot of them are pursuing music, like that's their outlet. And to hear you be open and honest about what you've gone through and your journey and where you're at now and what you wish you would have done back then, like I think it's just so important for people to hear that. And if I was to make a point of anything that you did say, I would say, like, it doesn't matter how many times you hit rock bottom, you can always pick yourself up. Because
Amen.
Like you said, 10 years ago you were a different person, but look where you are now. Your family is better for it. You're better for it. Yeah. Really, really
nice.
Thank you, Ivy.
Just quickly, again, thanks Ty for jumping on and sharing your journey. It's an eye opener every time someone is kind of like, not blunt, but up the guts with their journey, and tell it like it is, because you've been there. and appreciate you, man. Like I say to the boys all the time, when we have a guest on, it's kind of nerve-wracking to ask these questions, but you've made it easier for us. You know, you come out, you've told us your truths, and you just set the tone, and it's been amazing and an eye-opener for me. And I appreciate that, because like Swanky said, this podcast is built around mental health, and you've displayed, your true character to what you have overcome. So, thank you for the share. Any last words from you, bro? Sorry.
Yeah, man. Again, man, thank you guys for having me. I know it's late, and thank you for hanging around. You're worthy. That's what I want to say, man. Anyone that plays this back, and you're watching this right now, you are worthy. You don't ever think anything less of that. What you've done, the decisions that you've made, choices that you've made, you're worthy. You're never too far from God's grace. Straight up.
Thank you so much. Yeah. How do we end this, Swanky?
Before we end, I just want to say, Ty, if you need any extras for your upcoming, let me.
I'll just give you a quick demo.
I'll quickly give you a DM there also.
Oh yeah, man. If you got an opportunity for your kids, man, I'd love to come in and speak to them at some point, just whenever that is.
Yes, please. Look, I actually contacted Sid when I was working at Korowai, which is the Youth Justice in Auckland, a while ago, to see if he could come in, and he was keen as, but then I think there was a few issues, and then I left the job. But yes, that's also definitely. I'll definitely hit you up for that.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Very good.
And Mafi, also, if you need me to carry your turntables.
Hey, you lived their life, mate. You lived their life. Cut it off. That's Swanky's job now.
Let's go.
I carry it now, so I'm taking the burden for you, Ty. I'll take the sacrifice for you.
You'll drink that bottle.
Let's go.
Thank you, guys. We'll always catch up again.
Yeah, hi.
Shot. This is the For the Boys podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Chat for sending all your messages through. We'll all tune in next week for another episode. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, especially Ty.
Peace.
Peace out.